Okay, so next day I have gone through and set everything to the correct specs, and it turns out I need to order 4 shims. I used enough to mock them up and figure it out and do the math. So I will work on some other stuff, see if there's anything else I need, and then go ahead and get the shims. They're like $1 a piece. At least they're still available, or listed anyway. So what we're going to do here is, the whole reason I started this whole project was to try to get my deck height right, and then I realized I didn't have these washers. So I'm going to take out these 2 really thick shims I put under there 25 years ago. It would have been in about 85, so 86, so like 30 years ago. So in doing that, I will use the original shim that is in the comes in the gasket kit. I already put this one on, but what I've ended up with, since that's going to lower the height of the jug, it's going to make the piston come up in the bore further. And since there's where it's been for the last 30 some years, it's stopping right there. I need to clean that out. What I did on the other one is I just took a razor blade and, without gouging it, I don't know if you can see that or not, but just scraping that little bit of carbon out of there. I guess fortunately it's probably only got 10,000 miles on it, if that, so it's not really super built up. So the original, get the new base gasket out. So you can see how thin that thing is. It's just a little seal. It just drops on the bottom of this jug like that, cylinder. Alright, let me get my ring compressor ready and I'll show you how to put that thing on. Alright, so I've arranged the these pistons have 3 compression rings and 1 oil ring. I put the gap on the first ring, top ring straight up, and then I staggered the other ones. They're essentially staggered. One's down here, the other one's over here, so they're 120 degrees apart. So, being an air-cooled engine, since the cylinders slide on, you have to use a ring compressor that's removable. So, I actually bought this way back when I did this originally, and I seem to remember it not fitting, but I don't know, it seems to work alright. And I thought the bore, these are the big bore kit, so this is a larger bore than an original. Squeeze it and it locks that little ratchet down. And shoot a little motor oil in the cylinder. I don't want to put too much on there, it makes it hard to handle. There we go. Alright. Then the flat side goes against the other one. The other one went on real easy. Hopefully this one doesn't make a liar out of me. So, Okay. Now it's got the compression rings in the cylinder. Loosen the ring compressor and slide it back and grab the oil ring. And then fish that piece out of there. So this says 75 to 83 millimeters. I think these are 86, but works. Okay, now just slide the cylinder on. It drops down in there, and there we go. I can see how much further up in the bore the piston's coming. So I've got vice grips on the other side. I guess I'll take my head for this side and stick it on there temporarily, and we'll see if we can measure how much piston to head clearance I have. Before I stick the head on it, I want to clean these threads up. I don't know that I've ever done that. So I've got a thread chaser. It's kind of like a die, but it doesn't cut the threads. It just fits in what's there and cleans them up. So it just kind of gets the dirt out of the threads without cutting new ones. I put a little bit of penetrating WD-40 stuff on there, type stuff, just to kind of lubricate it, break some of that junk loose. So I'll go ahead and do all those. I also have a male thread chaser that I'll run through all the head bolts just like that, and the big head bolts, although they seem a lot cleaner than the studs, I guess because they're not out in the elements. So I won't bore you with that. I'll go ahead and some junk in that one. I'll go ahead and get these cleaned up, bring you back. Alright guys, we got both cylinders on, and I actually installed this cylinder head and checked my deck height. I took some, see it right there, sort of like this, took a piece of solder and silicone it to the head, put the head on, or silicone it to the piston, and see how much it compresses. But what I wanted to show you right here was, look how, I don't know if you can see it, look how far up in the cylinder that piston is. Okay, now let's look at the other side. This is the side I have not changed the shims on. If you can see that distance, but it is quite a bit. It's far side. This one is with the two base gaskets under there. I haven't touched this side yet. This side has the factory ones under it. You can see how much further that should be a huge gain in some compression. So I'm gonna start on the other side and go ahead and get those base gaskets changed. You've already seen me do it, and then we'll check the deck height on this side. Alright guys, so I got the cylinders on that side, got the base gaskets changed. So what I'm going to do now is I read somewhere online how to check the deck height on one of these engines. So that's what I did on the original side. Cut a short piece of solder. Actually cut 2 of them. And they said to use acid core solder and like take the acid out of it, but I couldn't get it, and I had this rosin core I had was a lot softer. So it seemed to work on the other side. What I'm going to do is I'll glue this to the piston, and then we'll put the head on, run it around, compress it, take it off, and then measure the thickness of it. So let me get prepped up for that and I'll bring you back. Okay, hope you can see this. Make sure, yeah. So, took those 2 little pieces of solder and I siliconed them to the piston. I'm gonna let that set up a little bit and then put the head on, tighten it down, doesn't need to be torqued exactly. Then we'll run it around and let the piston come up, press that solder against the head, take the head back off, and see if that stuff's crushed. On the other side it was crushed a little bit, and I was able to measure the thickness of it. So we will do that exercise, and I'll bring you back once I go through all that, and we'll pull it apart and we'll measure it and see what we have. Okay, I got the cylinder head on, tightened down. I back that piston down the cylinder before I put it on. So here goes. Just get an idea where it is. Okay. It's coming back up. Alright, it has gone around and it should have smashed something in there. Hopefully nothing bad, but it should have flattened that solder. Pull this off and we'll see what we got. Alright, got the nuts off. There's our solder pieces. The reason I read is to put 2 in, so when the piston comes out, when it hits the head, if you don't have one on both sides, it could tilt and give you a false reading. So this gives it the opportunity to kind of square itself up. So let's see what ended up. And on the other side, when I did it, it only hit in one spot. One side was squished and the other wasn't, but it was obviously, it made contact. So let's see what we have. That one looks pretty much untouched. It's probably hard for you guys to see it, but that one is slightly flattened. Get this in here where you can see it. So we're about 1.4 millimeters on that one, which is about 50 thousandths of an inch. The other side had about 42 thousandths, or a little over about 1.1 millimeters. So I think we're good. So I'm gonna order the rest of the parts I need and be on our way. I think I'm gonna wrap it up for this one. See ya when I got some more stuff to do.